Hey guys, welcome to the Great Apostate. Hope you're doing well. I got a friend request from one of the was it one of the Mays? I think it was one of the Mays. Anyway, one of the original protesters from Dublin back in the 1980s. Three guys went to America after Raymond Franz was disfellowshipped, and they went to ask the governing body. It seems so naive now, doesn't it? Hey, what's up, the governing body? We've just come to talk. And they basically said, get out of here! You know, it's like a layperson marching up to the Pope's house and saying, I just want to talk theology. And they told him to clear off right quick. And when the guys got home, they were disfellowshipped in short order. And I remember as a boy, watching them protest. They actually wore white hoods. So they looked like the KKK outside the RDS Assembly in Dublin. And then there's one of these guys friend requested me just the other day on Facebook. So we got chatting, and I hope to meet up with him in the near future at a garage about 50 miles from me and 50 miles from him. And we're going to do a YouTube video, have a chat about the past. He's in his 60s now, so it'll be cool. And I like to think that he's he's certainly one of the founders for me, because as a kid I remember watching and being shooed away by an attendant. But he was one of the first apostates in my lifetime, and one of the big ones too. And I carried it on a little bit too, so that's not bad. But anyway, I'm going to do a new video. I think it's a really interesting, wacky things said on the Sunday public talk. And somebody said, this I really feel this one, because let me tell you, I'll get into it, but you're going to know why. If you heard any wacky things said during the public talk on Sunday, please share. Here's one comment by a public speaker on Sunday. Jehovah's Witnesses were the least affected during the 2008 economic collapse because we live simple lives. This is simply not true. How could the speaker get the average or list of JWs are affected when the Borg hasn't even published anything on that? I know a few JWs that had issues with their home loans as a result of the 2008 issue. Well, I wasn't a JW back then, but hands up, it screwed me. It absolutely devastated my business. I was a window cleaner. I did commercial window cleaning and abseiling, and I went from making a lot of money to making practically no money. We went from living in a big house to renting a really moldy house. So no, it was a terrible time. But of course I wasn't Jehovah's Witness, so they don't care about that. And here's somebody who says, my business took a nosedive when that happened and it hasn't recovered yet, nor has mine. Is there somebody who said, same here, I will match my 2008 revenue finally in 2018. This year was the first, I had one week where I matched my 2008 revenues, only 1 week. So yeah. I had to shut my business down for a while and get a full-time job. Me too. But then again, the all-seeing and knowing God knew my heart condition and that I would be leaving the Jehovah's Witnesses not long after. I was affected because instead of prepping for college in my late teens, I was working at an admin position that a JW friend had referred me to and didn't require a degree. Because you don't need a degree, just good work ethics, right? No. Guess what jobs they started cutting because the other workers could just work overtime and pick up the slack. That's right, all the non-degree jobs vanished. Okay, there we go. Sounds like the point I used to make in a public talk about Jehovah's Witnesses having happier marriages. It was in the outline, but it's complete and utter bullshit. And I knew as much as I uttered those sentences before all those people. The entire premise of the cult is based on bullshit though, so go figure. And somebody's written, it's all about the public image. I remember an elder and his wife who would portray the perfect JW couple. They later separated for a few weeks and she left town to visit her family. Everyone thought she was just homesick and since her family lived outside the country, but the elder informed me in secret that they'd been having marriage trouble. Although sad, the funny thing is that she made a huge effort to build up this fake image that they were both good in front of the very few friends she has. That's so sad, isn't it? I remember a few years back, one elder running around speaking to everyone in a panic during the weeks leading up to the assembly. He needed to find a family, any family, that read the day's text together every day for an interview. Long story short, he ended up using his own family, even though they never read the text. Like you say, all about the image. It's true, and I've subsequently found out I used to believe all those stories, did you? Hope you didn't, because I was a fool. Most of those stories were all made up. Oh my goodness. Right. The stereotype, okay, while that is a dramatic statement with no evidence to substantiate it, I think there's some truth to it. Take two examples. Oh, so he's saying witnesses maybe weren't affected in the 2008 crash. The stereotypical JW Pioneer window washer would never have been able to afford a home. I did. 3,500 square foot. Big house. Would never be able to afford a house, and were living in small apartments, so they wouldn't be affected by their house suddenly being underwater. Well, I certainly was, I'm afraid. If JWs were expecting the end to come any day now, they wouldn't have been saving for retirement, so they wouldn't have lost half their money. Basically, it's like saying if you don't have a house to begin with, then you don't have to worry about your house being destroyed by a hurricane. I suppose there's some truth to that. I suppose it's like saying you're poor already, so you wouldn't have to worry about being poor in the first place because you were already poor and miserable. There we go. And where are we? Oh, but surely the humble end of world-ready window washers business would have taken a massive hit, because those who did suffer a huge hit thanks to the global financial crisis would be cutting expenses like window cleaning. They absolutely did. They absolutely did. I worked in the Belfast Odyssey. Now, Pavilion it's called. You can go online and look at this place. Go online and have a check. They have like 17 bars, restaurants, nightclubs, like a interactive kids museum, and I did everything in that place. There was weeks I would go in for 3 solid days. You know what I mean? For years I was going in 3 solid days every week, coming out with, cash, 200, 300, 400 pounds a day in my hand, just constantly working. And God, not so much anymore. I wish. Okay, maybe not 200, 300 pounds, but still a lot of money. Gone, all gone. So such is life. I used to have a brother that would quote Descartes in his talks. Oh, that educated man. I hate him already. Okay, a worldly philosopher, an all-round genius. Ooh, this dude would always pronounce his name René Descartes. Descartes. All sounded out like this. Well, I would always mention after how it's pronounced and about what awesome stuff he came up with we could still use today. And the next time I heard the talk, he would say it again the same way. Apparently he was quoting a Watchtower from way back. I have a story about this. Remind me. I'm going to have a large garage door mechanic. I'm going to have a garage door mechanic or a pool tech guy teach me about philosophy because they have a divine education. So true. If higher education is so dangerous, why does the Watchtower always quote from highly educated people? Ooh, good point. Because people from the past that have accomplished something worth keeping for posterity, just to have these morons parrot the information from stage incorrectly. Maybe if the pool guy went to night school and took a philosophy class, he would know who that guy that influenced Sir Isaac Newton was and have pronounced his name right. I love it. I love it. I remember back in the day, I had a friend called Roddy Moyer. Roddy's an elder in Lisburn, and if I see him, Roddy's one of the few people who'd still say hi to me. Right? Sorry, Roddy, you're in trouble now. But there we go. He'll say hi to me now, even though he's an elder. And here's the interesting thing. Back when he was just a mere ministerial servant, his job was to read this statement. Now, bear in mind, you might know, all you Americans might know these places, but we don't. And there was a quote in the Watchtower about a guy from Gary, Indiana. But because it was an American magazine, essentially, and it was mostly written for an American audience without them even realizing it themselves, they just wrote Gary, I-N-D. So, I knew it was Indiana. Roddy knew it was Indiana. Jim Ireland, the dumbass presiding overseer who took the talk, did not know. He just thought it was a place called Ind. So, Roddy had this decision. Do I say it right and make the presiding overseer look like a dummy? Or do I look like a dummy myself? Guess which one he did. That's right. There's a place in America called Gary Ind to this day, Lisburn believes. It's so true. Okay. Well, there's somebody said my whole JW family lost their house in 2008. It's absolutely true. Where are we go? The most uneducated religious group in the country feared better than everyone else just because of living simply. I guess tree-hugging, commune-living hippie vegans came through in flying colours then. That's a good one. I like that. Well, guys, listen, thanks very much for watching my series of silly videos. I hope you're doing well. If you've gotten this far, you're an internet legend. Maybe I can tempt you to read my book. It's on Amazon. It's called The Great Apostate. There's another one called How to Leave a Cult. And I hope you're doing well. Thank you very much for watching. Take care.